All right, UFC Fight Night Holloway versus Allen is a few short sleeps away, and this is what a goddamn fight card should look like, boys and girls. Great main card to break down here, although I still think Royval and Nicolau should be further up the card. I'm going to let it go for now. Let's go balls deep on this one. Like and subscribe as always. I really appreciate every time any one of you does it. All right, I love Clay Guida. I need to get up once a night to take a piss, and this man is 5 years older than me. I think this is Clay's last fight. He's been a savage and is almost never an easy out, but I have a weird feeling that Garcia fucks him up here, and I don't even think Garcia is that good. Garcia beat Mahashate, which is an alright win. I also think that Natan Levy, while he's got a good record, is way overrated, but at least he's bounced back. Garcia is young and hungry, and with some of the stinky performances we've seen from Guida, I just can't pick him anymore. I think Garcia is going to win this one by TKO, and we're going to see Guida's gloves in the middle of the cage and are not on the side of his head at the end of this one. Alright, this is actually a really tough one to pick. Gutierrez has had some wobbly, unimpressive fights at the beginning of his career, but lately has looked like an outright destroyer. The caveat here is that his recent performances have been against Frankie Edgar, who had already made it clear he was done. He made it very public that that was his retirement fight, which is never good going into a fight knowing that you're leaving. He beat Dana Baccarel, who I actually thought would win that one. So this makes this one a little bit hard. Pedro has lost to Dominic Cruz, Jose Aldo, completely different beasts. He also lost he had a no contest against O'Malley, which I believe he was actually winning the first round against, but you could see that the tide was turning and O'Malley was figuring him out. He's only had one win in 5 against Jimmy Rivera, and I think his stopping power is leaving him. And while he's very dangerous, he's got a really good leg kicking game. He's got decent takedowns. I'm going to edge Gutierrez in this one. Do not bet on this unless you enjoy a coin toss type of betting situation. I'm going to go with Gutierrez by split, with Munoz throwing a tantrum on his way out of the cage after thinking he won. Alright, this should be a great scrap, but another absolute coin toss. Both these men are fucking bird brain mongoloid barbarians. Bosa has fought at heavyweight and is more scrappy. Kuta-laba has one of the worst gas tanks I've ever seen, so this really comes down to what style of fighter you favor. I think Kuta-laba will come in for his head. He's going to try to drop him or take him down, and he's going to try and lock a rear naked choke in. If it gets past the first round, Bosa will have more of a gas tank. I think Bosa's going to get mollywopped in the first round, but if he manages to survive, then it's a very nervous one for Kuta-laba, who I prefer. I just think Kuta-laba is next level stupid. He has so many times I'm watching this guy and he just makes so many head scratching decisions. Bosa's not exactly a genius himself though. I'm really tempted to just ignore this one and not bet on anyone or to not pick anyone, but I'm gonna take Bosa to survive and then take over in rounds 2-3. Kuta-laba just can't be trusted. Alright, in this one, despite the 12-0 record and the Russian-sounding name, I'm going to go with Jacoby. This guy is a world-class kickboxer, and I believe Murzakanov is another one of those fat middleweights. Jacoby got brutally robbed in his last one against Khalil Roundtree after winning a clear 3-0 decision for me. I had him on my parlay, and I was like counting my money as the decision was being read out. I was absolutely fuming. That was a disgrace. I think Jacoby has the experience and range advantage here to do some really damaging thing in this fight. The 12-0 record for Murzakanov is deceptive. He's fought a lot of cans and yeah, just hasn't fought the same level either in the UFC or even the levels that Jacoby's faced in his kickboxing career. I think Jacoby's going to piece him apart from range or finds a TKO, taking this little hobbit out of there. Barring another robbery, he should have this one in the bag. Jacoby for the win. Oh lord, this is a really great card, man. I think Barbosa is a legend. I agree with a few other analysts that think that Barbosa will win the first round and will be looking comfortably on his way to a win. I think it was Billy Contillo's last win against Hernandez that really turned me on to this guy though. One thing I really see is an ability to rally and dig deep, and in his last fight, Hernandez really had Billy in trouble at moments. I think Billy has the ability to go to the grappling, and Barbosa has displayed a propensity to fold quite miserably in fights. Really tough one to pick. Barbosa does have the kicking game, the striking game in general to turn someone's lights out. We haven't seen that too much from him lately. I just think Billy has more options to win. He's more durable. And I think he's going to find a late stoppage or clearly win the last 2 rounds. Barbosa at featherweight is also a little too drained as well, and I feel like that's where his power is starting to deteriorate. I won't be betting this either, as there are more solid picks on the card. I'm just picking, I think it would be Silly Billy for the Winnie. It's Max blessed Holloway, man. There are levels to this shit. I just think it's going to be a stand-up war for as long as it lasts. And Alan might even have some good moments. Max, despite the wars he's been through over the last decade, is just a fucking zombie. My biggest issue here for Alan is that despite being so skilled, and he is really good, I'm a Brit, and for the sake of national pride and for a division that has no contenders left for Volk, it would actually be far better if Blessed gets convincingly starched in this one. Given his fighting style, one day he will get chinned, and once it does go, it will be gone forever. I just think he's taken enough time off, and he has enough left on that chin to survive a tricky first round and then just take over after Alan inevitably breaks his hand or hands. I never call this, but I'm going to go with a doctor stoppage in this one. I think either Alan breaks his hands and the fight gets stopped, or Holloway takes over when Alan can no longer fight at full capacity and Holloway just starts beating the fuck out of him. I've got Blessed to win this one. It's a shame for the division, but this man is a monster, a legend, and I wouldn't really get off on seeing him lose anyway, despite, how much I like Alan. I think Holloway might have one more run in him when Volk inevitably goes back up to take that lightweight strap. Alright, so I have a few more videos in the pipeline which I'll release before I return to work. My record stands at 83 and 35, which has a win percentage of 70%. I've kept you here long enough. Have a wonderful rest of the week.